in this video we're going to be having a look at this, the Radii RD939 DAB Plus FM digital radio, and explain why I think this is the absolute best small modern portable radio on the market at the moment. It's fantastic. I've got a ton of little portable radios. I absolutely love radio and listen to radio all the time. A couple of really decent little FM radios here, little analog radios. Got this absolutely wonderful Roberts Petite 2 here, fantastic radio. But this one is about £100. It sounds amazing, really great features and everything, excellent battery life. But at around £100, this is a bit too expensive of a radio for what I needed a little portable for. i.e. I'm going on a little camping trip, so I like to have a radio to take with me so that I've got music and news and stuff like that, and I wanted something as well that I can keep in the radio. I've just had an old little FM radio for use in my bathroom for years, and perfectly fine. I'll just whack Radio 4 on or something in the morning, but it's really nice having DAB radio because you've got more selection. So I've very recently bought a bunch of radios off of Amazon, and all of these they're all right, they're quite decent, they all sound okay, pretty good really. And I did another video on these 5, and while I'd be happy to use any of these radios, you know, they're all pretty good really. From that video I decided that the Aiwa RD40 was going to be the one I would keep because it sounds pretty decent. It's got amazing battery life at over 20 hours on about just over half volume. Nice features, presets, built-in sleep timer button there and everything. This is a solid little radio, nice. One of my other absolute favourite radios is this tiny little Radii RD23. This is a wonderful little radio and has no right to sound as fantastic as it does given its size. This is brilliant. 2 kind of major drawbacks for me, outside I just kept this and kept using this, was that it's micro USB charging. I'm trying to move everything I've got onto USB-C charging, so I don't have to cart around extra cables just to charge my radio, and it doesn't have a sleep timer, and for me it's really important in a portable battery powered radio that it's got a sleep timer. I don't want to fall asleep listening to radio and wake up to find my battery's dead. So I wanted something ideally updating this actual radio because it's brilliant. And literally the day after I'd bought all these other ones, I did stumble across, by accident really, on Amazon this which is basically what I've been waiting for. The RD939 is the updated version I've been waiting for of this one. So yeah, I snapped it up. The audio quality of this one's so good for the size. I just snapped this one up. It was in the Amazon Prime kind of July thing. It was £28 and 4 pence. The price has now gone back up to £32 odd on Amazon. But yeah, it's fantastic. It's pretty much everything I wanted in a really small, portable, really feature packed, good sounding radio. It's got USB-C charging of its inbuilt battery, which is, oh, it's not on the back there. I'm sure I read that the battery in this is 1200 milliamp hours. So not a huge battery, and we'll talk about battery life later. And it's also not a replaceable battery, unfortunately. This is a sealed unit. I figured if I get 3 or 4 or 5 good years out of this, it's done its job. I suppose I would have preferred if it had a removable battery, but it doesn't. But this is wonderful. So I'm just going to discuss this radio in 4 main areas: the audio quality, the ease of use and features that it's got, its battery life, and just talk about the design of it as well a little bit at the end. So first thing to say, it's a radio, it's an audio device. It has to sound decent, doesn't it, for you to enjoy listening to it. And yeah, I can report that this just sounds amazing for its size. The speaker is fantastic, really good quality. It's just one single speaker driver in there. There's no bass port or anything I can see through the grill, but a really high quality, nicely tuned speaker. This sounds wonderful. Look at the size of this thing, it's absolutely tiny. This one sounded great. This one's got a slightly bigger speaker, it sounds even better. Can't quite compete with something like the Roberts Petite 2, which has a really large, for its size, bass port on the back. This one sounds wonderful for its size. But as I say, this is about £100. This was £28, and it sounds better than all those other radios that I bought the day before I got this one. It's fantastic. This one's got some preset EQ settings in there. Press the EQ button, it'll take you through. You've got the normal standard one, you've got a rock one which adds more bass and takes some of the treble off. The pop one adds some bass and some treble. The jazz one takes a little bit of the mids out, adds a bit more treble. The classical setting, that tends to really scoop the mids and boost the treble and keep some of the bass in. and the normal one is just kind of like a flat response one. If I'm listening on speech radio, I'll have it on the normal one. And if I'm listening to music, I have found that the rock one gives it a nice bit more warmth. That's really good. And the pop one, I tend to flip between the pop and the rock one. The pop setting adds a bit more treble in there. But that's great. That's great that you've got that you've got some amount of control over the frequency spectrum on your radio there. Really nice that it's dead easily accessible from that button. That's great. I've just done a few sound samples comparing this one to just a few of my other radios, just so you can have a look of a kind of similar size. And I have posted a couple of other little videos up here on YouTube with some copyrighted music on and stuff, but you can access those as well to just have a little listen. Those other videos were recorded using my iPhone's inbuilt mics. I've recorded the audio for this one on my decent studio mic. So yeah, just have a little listen and see what you think. But yeah, this is fabulous. For the size, the weight and the cost, it's wonderful.
On mats, on mattresses, on the bare floor, there was blood everywhere. A priest at the hospital, Father Damien, had told Madhu's men that he was here. Try to get up.
I could not stop myself from crying when I saw them there in front of me at the hospital. Master and Ma put their arms around. Baby clung to my hand and refused to let go. I could not sit on one part of my buttocks, and so during the first few weeks in Olu, the refugee camp, as Baby joined the thin children, their hair wisps of sun-bleached yellow-brown. In the evenings, I wrote. I sat under the flame tree and I saw the bar, smelled the alcohol and heard the soldiers saying, "Target destroyer." I would see her on the floor.
Oh my God. Let me show you what I got. This beat is so God. Let me show you what I got. This beat is so God. Let me show you what I got. This beat is so God. Let me show you what I got. This beat is so hot. Oh my God.
Is that bullshit?
I think.
Yeah, I hope it came across on the video about how good this one sounds. Really impressed with it. I've had it on pretty much constantly since I got it. I had it on in the background yesterday, and it's just really pleasant for listening to music on, which isn't always very often something I can say about radios, certainly this tiny. But yeah, it does sound great. Stick it sort of towards a corner or something, or in a little alcove, and you're going to get a relatively really nice, warm, decent sound out of it. Great stuff. Raddy, they do seem to know what they're doing with their speakers. Yeah, really good stuff. So next, I just wanted to talk about the ease of use and the features. I haven't had to look at the instruction manual for this radio. It's pretty self-explanatory, really quite nicely laid out. Power button there, which just does have kind of two settings. When it's on kind of standby, well, then it's just a press and it boots up pretty quickly. And then if you press and hold the power button, that will switch the radio off completely, which will save a bit more battery. But to be honest, I've been using it just on its standby mode because I hate when you have to press and hold on a radio's power button to switch it on. I mean, I've got to do that now because I've switched it off completely. But yeah, normally I've just been using it in standby mode. So a quick press will bring it to life, which is just better, more convenient and quicker. And we've got these buttons all on here. It's all quite intuitive. For scanning between stations, you can press your forward and backward buttons and it'll scroll through everything on there. You've got presets on this radio, which are really easy to access. Once you've stored any presets, they'll come up on here with a press of the memo button. Storing them's really easy and everything, and then up and down to select your station there, the enter button to select. It's all fairly intuitive, self-explanatory. You can access your menu with the menu button. So you've got all those kind of standard options on there. The system settings also are pretty good and quite a bit more flexible than on any other radio in this price bracket that I've seen. Let's go into that menu. You've got an alarm clock on there. You access the sleep timer in there, and you can set it to between 15 minutes and 2 hours. Press back to go back to the previous screen. Clock style, digital or analog. And one of the really great things on this radio is that it's got some backlight settings. You can decide how long you want the display to stay on before it sort of times out. I've just got it on 10 seconds to try and save battery. And you can decide how bright you want the screen when the screen is on, you know, woke up. So let's have that on high for this video. And then the dim level. So after it's timed out, you can specify how high you want the display to be on. Low, medium or high. If it's on high, it's just going to be on full display all the time. I've set it to go off after 10 seconds, again in an attempt to increase battery life. But that's so good that you've got that control over this tiny little radio. A nice, decent sort of 2-inch screen, colour screen on there. But really great that you can control that on this radio. Dead impressed. None of those other ones I bought recently will allow you to do that. Your info button will display all your usual info as you scroll through it there. Signal strength, what type of station it is, all that kind of stuff. Byte rate and all that. Date. So yeah, all just clearly laid out, dead easy to use. The RD23 had a physical volume up and down button, which I really liked that. That was good. This one just does have clicky buttons, but you know, it's no great shakes using that. They're fairly responsive and everything. They work fine. So then let's just have a look at the mode button. This has got some amazing features that are just dead useful and I've been using already in the short time I've had this radio. So you've got DAB+, a click takes you to FM, another click takes you to Bluetooth, so you can use this as a Bluetooth speaker to play your phone through it, and because it's so good, it's quite good for using for that. Nice. And another click, you've got a USB option on there. And if you look on the top of the unit, there's a USB port on there. So if you've got a USB stick with a load of music on, you can bung that in there and it'll play off the USB stick. Another click takes you to the SD card. And I have got an SD card in there. But yeah, it'll play off your USB stick or an SD card. But also, little symbol up there, it'll either play just in order, or if you click the memo button, it'll repeat one song. Click it again, it'll play random. I've just got thousands of songs on that SD card, so I'll just click it on random. And yeah, it'll just play it random. So you've even got control over that. A couple of the other little radios I've got that do have SD card slots, you've got no control over it. So yeah, they've even added that in there. Absolutely brilliant. Even comes with a little strap as well, so I can hang it off coat hooks or whatever. Just another option. So nice to have it included and built in. I absolutely love this little thing. It's wonderful, and I would highly recommend it if you were after a small portable radio. But it's much more than that. It's a music player and a really decent, tiny, cost-effective audio player as well. Bluetooth speaker even. Yes, it's not going to go massively loud. No, it's not going to sound as good as a large dedicated Bluetooth speaker or your big system at home, but for travel and things and for having in the bathroom, it's just perfect. Absolutely love it. Just need to talk about battery life. As I said, I think this is a 1200 milliamp hour battery. Some of these other ones I looked at have got bigger batteries and they do last longer. And I would have paid a bit more for a bigger battery in this, but I did a test of this one when I got it on DAB, just on speech radio on Radio 4. I just ran it at over half volume. The volume goes up to 32 and I ran this at between sort of 18 and 20, which is a decent volume for listening in a smallish normal size room, and it ran for 12 hours and 20 minutes, which is alright, not bad. Like I say, I would have been dead keen for this to have a bigger battery, 2000 milliamp hours or something would have been great. But yeah, 12 hours, 20 minutes, I'm happy with that. That's great. It's USB-C, so I'm never going to be too far away from a USB charging option. Over 12 hours is good enough. It might run for less than that time if you're listening to music, especially if you've got the rock setting on, which pumps out more bass. I would expect that to drain the battery quicker than that, but yeah, pretty good in terms of battery life. And then just to talk about the design, well, I think this looks quite nice. Some of these other radios, yeah, look at this one. I mean, that's the kind of face only a mother could love, isn't it? That's a pug ugly little radio there. This one, I think I quite like the way it looks. In terms of size and everything, well, it's actually just a little bit smaller, more or less the same size as my beloved old Roberts 9 Sports 925 there. That's the sort of size of radio you've got, and I love this form factor as a portable. It's great. So nice big colour screen there, that's lovely. Got the carry handle, aerial there. Reception's pretty good on this one as well, I must say. I sometimes struggle a little bit down in my downstairs kitchen with some of the DAB radios I've bought, but this one's been absolutely fine. Solid performance. Really, the only quibble I've got with this in terms of the design, and I just don't get this whatsoever, is, do you see they've rounded this bottom piece off? Top piece is sort of rounded there and the bottom piece is rounded there, and that looks quite nice, but that's just a bizarre choice, because when you go to stand it up, if you're not a bit gentle with it, it'll just tip forward. Why on earth didn't they just make that flat? Oh, very odd design choice there, in an otherwise pretty much perfect radio. The way I found to get around that is to, when you extend the aerial, just angle the aerial back slightly so it gives it a little bit more back balance, if that makes sense. Now also, I even really looked in the box, I think there is a little stand in the box. Let's just grab that out and have a look at that. Yeah, they supply this little kickstand at the back. Suppose just plugs in there, does it? Oh, nice. Yeah, all right. Cool. That kind of solves that issue, and if it's on your desk, it's angled at your face, which is only going to improve your perception of the frequencies, isn't it? That should be built in as well, really. If you had that on a little flip stand, that would be great, because I've now got to carry that about somewhere and not lose it. Yeah, all right, little kickstand on there. So Raddy, if you're happening to watch this, make this exact radio with a bigger battery, a flat bottom piece, and have that on a flip out kickstand. This is the best small radio I've ever seen. Absolutely love it. It sounds amazing. Great features. Yeah, if you're into radio and looking for a small portable with modern features, this is the one to get. It's absolutely brilliant. So thanks for having a look, and I hope that's been useful to somebody, and I hope to catch you in the next video. Thanks very much for having a look, and take it easy. Ta-da for now.